Stigma. It's a word that lingers. A story told so many times it becomes truth, even when it no longer fits. For years, Colombia's name was synonymous with chaos. Drugs, cartels, violence. The kind of place whispered about, but never considered for travel. Yet every Colombian I'd ever met painted a different picture. One of warmth, pride, and genuine friendliness. They spoke of a country of incredible diversity. Mountains that meet jungle, jungles that fall into desert, desert that stretches to the sea.
This is Colombia.
So when a local guide reached out with an invitation to explore his country, curiosity, as always, got the better of me. I threw the idea of an international adventure to a few mates, and like me, they jumped at it. It started, as all good adventures do, with a minor disaster. Our Dash 8 aircraft refused to leave the runway in Port Macquarie. Some obscure technical fault. Fortunately, Captain Green had an alternative parked in his hangar, a sleek Eclipse jet. Moments later, we were airborne, watching the sun set at 30,000 feet while the rest of the passengers were still in the departure lounge. We wouldn't be missing our international connections. Sometimes you've just got to take things into your own hands. That set the tone. Next was Sydney, then Auckland, Santiago, Bogotá, and at last, Medellín.
Bienvenido al Aeropuerto Internacional de Medellín.
The city of eternal spring. Medellín lies cradled in a vast green amphitheatre, a mosaic of towers, trees and terracotta spilling down the slopes.
De Pink Panther.
¡Sí, señor!
¡Yoñato! Hágale que yo lo sigo.
El barrigo fully chupado.
Pedro, our guide, met us with a smile that dissolved the fatigue of travel. We remarked that it wasn't as hot and humid as we'd expected. At 1,400 metres, he explained the altitude has the greatest influence on the climate. It tempers the heat, shapes the clouds, and gives Medellín that gentle rhythm locals call the eternal spring. As we arrived in the suburb of El Poblado, it felt effortlessly sophisticated. Tropical greenery tumbling from balconies, streets alive with conversation. We wandered without direction, content to let the city make the first move. A long lunch, a cold cerveza, and somewhere between the sights and the rhythm, Medellín began to feel like home. There's no escaping Colombia's past, and nowhere carries it more openly than the Medellín suburb of Comuna. Today, this barrio stands proud as a great story of reinvention. We came here not for the Narcos version, but to see the real deal. Through the eyes of our guides, Manuel and Erica. From the top, the view is breathtaking. A modern city glowing in the sun, framed by green mountains and terracotta buildings. Police stand watch but now they smile, nod, and greet Manuel with respect.
Buenos días.
Peace, hard-earned and proudly held on to. Comuna 13 is a maze of colour and innovation. Steep stairways replaced by outdoor escalators. Alleys alive with murals, music and movement. Where bullets once marked walls, art now tells the story of pride, resilience and hope. What struck us most wasn't the history, it was the warmth, the smiles, the pride in how far they've come. Comuna 13 hasn't buried its past, it has transformed it.
Buenas tardes.
As the sun slipped behind the hills, we left the barrio in quiet reflection, grateful, humbled, and ready to see the other side of Colombia's spirit. That night, we'd find it in a game of tejo, in a country that knows how to turn even gunpowder into laughter. Tejo, you take a heavy steel puck and throw it towards a clay board lined with paper triangles filled with gunpowder. Hit one squarely, and the result is glorious chaos. It's loud, messy, and wonderfully alive. Beer flowed, laughter followed, and before long we were cheering with locals like old friends. Colombia had made its introduction, not quietly, but with fireworks. Tomorrow we'd be on our bikes, but that night the country had already claimed us.
So we've got a group of 8 riders heading through Colombia this week, plus our guides, Pedro and Miguel. So we've got 6 Desert X's and 2 multi-strata V4 rallies in our group. So a nice fleet of Ducatis running through the Colombian hills.
Bloody fantastic. Can't wait. It's been a long time to get here, but it's beautiful. Medellin, fantastic. Come along.
Yeah, ready to rock and roll.
We set up each of the bikes and got everyone comfortable with ride functions and settings before we head off. The excitement was definitely brewing. Riding a motorcycle in a foreign country always gets the nerves and excitement going. But we were in good hands with Pedro, our experienced guide, navigating our way out of Medellin. As we ventured into the countryside, the landscape transformed dramatically. The bustling city gave way to rolling hills and lush greenery, revealing some of the most glorious twisty mountain roads we'd ever experienced. So we've been on the road about 2 hours. We left Medellin this morning. We're up in a little village, I don't know, somewhere in the foothills of the Andes Mountains. The roads have been super interesting. The average speed's only been less than 50 kilometres an hour, about 35 kilometres an hour when I looked earlier. And even though we're doing the road section these first couple of days, there's a lot of dirt, bumpy corners and ups and downs, and it's super interesting. I've already seen a little cow getting carried on the back of a scooter. And it's just fascinating, the scenery, and the people here are great, just awesome.
We are down from the mountains. It's been great. They are struggling a bit with the temperature, but it's going to be amazing. The crew is happy. Everyone is enjoying it. So let's see what's coming next.
La Primavera sits high in the Colombian hills. Coffee grown slow, by hand, no shortcuts. We sample traditional Colombian coffee and learned all about what it takes to be a premium coffee farm.
Todo esto práctico.
Don't mind if I do. Gracias. I've ridden a lot of countries around the world by now, and Colombia is right up there. So I've been to Italy, France, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, ridden a little bit in Thailand on scooters, and Colombia is right up there. The off-road riding we're doing here, kind of similar to Australia in a lot of ways, in terms of, you know, normal sort of gravel road and farm roads. The bitumen roads, the tarmac roads, they're very rough. Lot of sort of broken bitumen, lots of holes in them. So by no means is riding in Colombia a beginner's ride. It's definitely more technical and a little bit tricky. You know, you've got to have some good low-speed bike control skills. I'd say the traffic here isn't as crazy as some of the other countries, like, as I said, Southeast Asia. If you go to Vietnam, the traffic's mental. You know, crossing the road, you're taking your life in your own hands. But what we've seen so far, first 2 days of riding, the traffic's pretty good. Compared to Australia, maybe not as organised or whatever, you know, people are overtaking on solid lines, but frankly it just flows and works better anyway. We're way too strict in Australia. Speeds are down low because you just simply can't go quick. The roads are so tight. So it's been really interesting to see that, what the riding's like here. Getting up to elevation like we're going to do today and tomorrow is going to be a different experience for a lot of us. We may well have been up over 3,000 metres, but perhaps not doing, you know, physical activity like riding our motorcycles. So it'll be interesting to see how the bodies cope with that, and that's a bit of an unknown for us flatlanders from Australia. We really don't get that sort of altitude. Getting up over 4,000 metres, the air thins and the engine feels it. So do we. High in the Colombian Andes, the weather closes in. Visibility drops to nothing. But it doesn't stop the ride. This isn't just riding anymore. It's surviving terrain most of us have never experienced on a motorcycle. Although the clouds restrict our view, it gives us perspective of how high we've climbed. We are in the Andes.
Seb, what are we drinking here, mate? What is it?
This is a beer and cola. It's a mix. It's a typical drink in Colombia. It's for asado, for eat in this typical place. It's good. It's for fun.
rest day in the jungles of Doradal. Pedro was eager to show us the rivers that flow through the jungles. Before we traded motorcycles for boats, we began with what locals somewhat generously called a train. 2 wooden platforms, a few plastic chairs, and a 100cc motorbike for propulsion. No seat belts, no safety rules, just laughter drowned out by bearings screeching on railway track. From track's end, longboats carried us upstream into the jungle. The banks are alive with iguanas, turtles, alligators, and monkeys. A guide mentioned we might even see hippos, descendants of those that escaped from Escobar's nearby estate. We had so many questions. Back home in Australia, everything wants to bite or eat you. But a hippo? That's a new one.
I hope we don't get a flat with these tubes.
We swapped boats for inner tubes, floating downstream beneath a cathedral of green. It was serene. Until Captain Green got bored with it all. A couple of punctured inner tubes later, the river filled with chaos and laughter. We got shivved.
That David Green is a prick.
Lunch awaited on a sandy bank. Fried fish, plantain, avocado and rice. Eaten from wrapped banana leaves, prepared in tranquil surroundings. In Colombia, rivers aren't boundaries. They're the highways of life, and sometimes the playgrounds.
Our average speed yesterday was like 45 kilometres an hour, so it takes a fair while to get anywhere, but man, it's just so engaging. Everywhere you go, the sights to look at, the people are so friendly, the food's been really good, and then we're staying in awesome accommodation like this. Stunning villas up in the hills with clouds hanging out over those mountains. It's just been beautiful.
Beautiful, distracting, and utterly engaging. This is what makes riding here special. Not the difficulty of the terrain, but the density of the experience. A place that demands attention, rewards focus, and leaves you exhausted in the best possible way.
Son 20 boletas por 5.000 pesitos. Por 5.000 pesitos. 20 boletas por 5.000. 20 boletas por 5.000. Vamos por otro millón. Vamos por otro millón.
The Guardas hums with energy. Jeeps, chatter, and the flash of painted chivas rumbling past. A meal stop becomes an impromptu conversation, and suddenly you're part of the town's story. Salamina sits high in the Andes, a town of carved wooden balconies and painted doors, each one more elaborate than the last. A grand fountain and whitewashed church at its centre. The air is visible here, dense with moisture. Chef Oscar invited us into his kitchen. Steak sizzling on the fire, effortless preparation of culinary perfection. It wasn't just a meal, it was a revelation. Worn out bearings on a motorcycle wheel became an opportunity to test the resourcefulness and customer service of local mechanics.
Back wheel's back in the bike. Let's check it out. Good result. So we have some nice new bearings back in there that will help the wheel to keep going around like it should. So this little workshop came to the rescue.
All too willing to help us get back on the road. That same generosity met us everywhere.
I'm blown away by this place constantly. It's everywhere we go, it's a different story that's told. Like the people are a little bit different. The landscapes or the buildings surrounding us are different. Last night we just arrived here in the town of Honda, which is on the Magdalena River, which is the largest river in Colombia. And this river that comes into Honda stretches down to the coast, to the Caribbean coast down near Cartagena. And it's 990 kilometres from Honda to the coast. And this used to be a port, so they would bring goods in from the ocean, bring it right up here into the middle of Colombia, into the Andes Mountains almost, and distribute goods here from Honda.
We arrived in Colombia with caution, shadowed by stories of its past. But what we found was a nation full of life and character. Colour, kindness, confidence. Of people determined to define a new path. Colombia changed us, not through its roads or its vistas, but through its humanity. And now it calls us back. We will return to share the roads, the laughter, and the sense of discovery that only Colombia can give. Because once you've seen the real Colombia, you realise the story is not about its past, it's about what it's become. I've travelled a lot of the world on two wheels, but Colombia was different. It surprised me, inspired me, and in the end, it stole my heart. The best travel experience I've ever had.
On that night, found a beginning without an end in those eyes. Fever pitch of young love or like an avalanche. To love you harder than a mother could have ever tried. But you grew up like a twisted vine and covered my light. Now my glow wants to break through the leaves, feed your fight. Oh, that love, I couldn't see it coming, I couldn't see it coming. That love, just felt the rumble, then it hit me like an avalanche.